Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to SETI Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I'm your host, seated in the center chair this day. I guess, wow, I'm having struggles already. Daniel Prue, joining me as always are my two co-hosts, Darren and Philip. How are things going? Philip, how was the first episode of your Enterprise rewatch going?
I haven't started it yet. I'm still doing sort of the palate cleanser.
Is it a long road to the rewatch, Philip?
Well, and I was telling Darren before we started, I've been doing some Star Trek organizing because I have, assignments due, and so you do everything else but that. And so I did do some Enterprise-related things. I went on eBay and bought a T'Pol and Tucker action figures. They will be joining my Archer and NX-01 on the shelf. So,
for a second, I thought you were going to say the T'Pol uniform, and I thought maybe that you would be wearing that while you watched Broken Bow, but that's okay. Darren, what have you been up to? What's your Star Trek
I've
week
been watching Star Trek, guys. It's a novel thing for me. No, I don't remember exactly why I started it, but I started with the end of season 5 of DS9. So kind of
you just want to say you're ahead of me. You just want to you skipped the line and you went right 3 episodes in front of me.
Okay, so season 5, the end of season 5 is Call to Arms, and that's where they put down the minefield. You have the the Cardassians and Dominion attacking. And I'm about 4 episodes into the beginning of season 6, and I don't know. I just wanted to kind of jump to that point and see, just how, because it's been long enough that I haven't watched DS9 that it's like I kind of know the story, but I don't remember the details of the individual episodes. So it's kind of refreshing, which is kind of nice. Although, okay, I have to ask, the episode I just watched is the one where Alexander shows up on Worf's ship. Sons and Daughters, I think. Or Behind the Lines. All these, that's the only downside with DS9 names is they're often sometimes interchangeable. Like they don't exactly feel super unique. But okay. And this isn't a spoiler because I could look it up, but I want to ask you guys
from the 25-year-old series.
Exactly.
That we've all seen multiple times.
So when Alexander showed up, am I misremembering? Isn't there an episode where like an even older Alexander shows up who is like time traveling to like save his father?
That's TNG. Yeah, that's season 7 of TNG. Yeah.
Okay, so that's somewhere in there. Okay,
Rightful
I was gonna
heir?
say,
I can't remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, is this actual Alexander or is this like future Alexander? And so it was funny watching that episode, thinking that because I'm like, there's a scene in the end where he goes into this compartment to like save the ship, and I'm thinking, in the prime timeline, did Worf go into that compartment because you weren't there and he died? Like, again, obviously it's not at all what happened, but my mind is combining the 2 episodes and thinking like, what is going on? But so Alexander becomes part of the House of Martok, and Sisko's really not liking desk duty, where he's and I'm also trying to remember, is Ross a changeling at this time?
No, he's never a changeling.
Okay. Some reason I thought he was a changeling. So I'm like, I'm just suspicious of everybody. So, and Ducat's playing major mind games with Kira, and Zial's back, and Rom just got arrested. Data's going off, or not Data. Odo's going off the reservation with the female changeling. So it's interesting. Maybe that's why the episode titles feel so non-distinct. Is there's so many, like season 6, our characters are all spread out. So there's not really an A plot, B plot. It's a, what's this character group doing and what's this character group doing? And, they kind of all blend together because they're slowly progressing all these different storylines. It's very, very different. But I mean, I'm definitely enjoying it. But
yeah, it's all serialized, so the individual episodes kind of make less of an impact. It's all just one continuing
I would
thing.
agree. Like, I guess maybe I was overstaying. There's no AB. Like, obviously, in the Sons and Daughters, like Worf's, working with Alexander, like that's the A plot, obviously. And man, Alexander's calling him to task. Like everything we've said about Worf being a bad father, Alexander pretty much states, and we're like, yeah, Worf, like you kind of suck as father. Like you're really not that great.
And having not watched that episode, not that often,
in the last decade,
yeah, because it makes me wonder. The DS9 writers, obviously, they're going to have a reflex to fix TNG. But, I mean, obviously, Alexander comes across as such a... I don't even know what the right word would be. Klingon word. But anyway, Klutz, I'll be nice.
A weak character.
Well, because, for instance, I mean, he was a cool kid. I mean, you may say he's uninteresting. But, I mean, he was smart. He was... Yeah. He wasn't some tripping over himself. I know people change, but I'm just saying, as a base kid, he seemed perfectly normal. Yeah. I mean, given all the trauma that he suffered through. And then
I would have liked to have seen him.
That was
yeah, I didn't understand why they did what they did with his character. Just because where he ends up is just nebulous and meaningless. It's just to make him so useless as a character. I don't get it either. I don't really know why.
And I wish he had specialized in something. If he doesn't have to be a warrior, but if he became like advanced warp theory or something. There's got to be Klingons that know advanced warp theory. There's not going to be many
historian.
of them.
He knew all about the ancient West.
Yeah, or something like that. Jeez. But yeah, and then that finds a
all
way
planets
into
have a
the
West.
plot. Again, I know he's not going to stick around forever, and I know that Worf's just going to go back to the station. So part of me is kind of why reintroduce this father-son dynamic when you're going to literally just shelve Alexander again.
And it's so, and again, you can do anything you want with the character, so it's not what Philip thinks, but it's just an odd choice given what you know about young Alexander.
Say you can do anything you want with the characters. Then we get season 7 or season 6 Jadzia. So we don't want them to do anything with the characters,
but to have them want to be on a Klingon ship, I could get, and again, you can tell me if I'm getting the episode wrong, but I could get that there's a subconscious, I want to be like my dad. But it seems no, his career thing is he wants to be in the Klingon Defense Force. I'm
it's not super clear. Martok even asks him, he's why are you here? And he doesn't really, he just says it's personal. That's really his answer. He doesn't really give an answer. And it's yeah, and Worf's kind of right. He's all of a sudden I want to be a warrior and join the defense. That has never been you. And you've told me that, and I've accepted that. And I'm yeah, Alexander, why are you here? Because that's again why my brain was is this time travel Alexander trying to save his father? Which could have been more interesting, but that's just me.
See, because he doesn't even because how does it end? Because he's he redeems himself, and now I'm a member of the ship, and I'm
it's literally that, yeah. And
you should have just done something else with your life, honestly.
He's accepted by at the end, his arc is he's accepted by his father in this new role, and he's accepted by the crew to a point. I mean, Worf's kind of right when he says they've accepted him as the ship fool. Yeah, they it's maybe not quite as harsh as that, but it's not. There's an aspect
he's the
of
mascot.
That. Yeah, it's.
And that ship is the ship of the outcasts, right?
No, this is just a normal ship during the war.
Okay.
This is not Outcast. I need to find the episode where they're all on the prison asteroid, because apparently that already happened, because Martok's got one eye. Because loses
Darren,
his
let me tell
eye
you.
there, right?
I can tell you, Darren. I just watched the episode. It's called By Inferno's Light.
Inferno's Light.
Man, what an episode of television. It's so good. That's where we get Worf fighting all the Jem'Hadar.
Okay.
That's where we get...
Mid-season 5, okay.
Yep. That's where we get Cardassians joining the Dominion, and that's where we find out that Dr. Bashir has been a changeling for a month or two or something like that. Lots of twists and turns, man. That's where Garrick saves the day by overcoming his claustrophobia. Like, this is
it's a great episode.
Reveals that, well, whoever is his father.
Oh, yeah. And Auburn Tain is his father, which I always kind of thought was lazy, but that's fine. And he dies, so that's fine. Yeah, that kind of felt like a weird thing to do, but whatever, it works. And then what's his name? Ducat takes. So I don't know how he does it. It's not really clear. But he just takes over all of Cardassia. He's now chairman Ducat. And,
Chancellor Ducat.
Chancellor Ducat. Yeah.
That's such a career, which, you know, I mean, this is not a criticism by any means, but that's such a weird arc for Ducat, the ups and downs they put him through of, like, bad guy to washed up, bad guy to washed up, I forget how he gets the bird of prey.
Yeah.
Washed up captain, and then they help him, and now he's, like, the newly energized, and then I think this is his next step is...
Yeah.
You know, washed up, well, kind of returning back, Klingon or Cardassian fighter to now head of the Cardassians.
See, okay, I probably should have started my drop-in rewatch more in season 5 because, again, I couldn't remember where this was as far as knowing Bashir was a shapeshifter. And so when they had Rocks and Shoals, which is the episode where they've crashed they're in the Gamma Quadrant and they've crashed their ship, and Bashir's acting not sketch, but he's a little rougher on the edges because they're kind of on field rations and in a cave. And I'm like, is this like he's kind of acting? Is he like good Bashir?
Now, Daniel, having I guess now seen that episode, can you go back and be like, oh yeah, that was definitely the changeling Bashir in previous 2 episodes?
I thought that it was upcoming, but there's not. I don't really think there was any tells. I'm not sure how far ahead they were doing that, but. He
That's
seems
true.
fine.
That'd be interesting to know when, in the writer's perspective, did that happen?
Yeah, it wasn't clear.
It's not like Geordi when he went to a conference and the Romulans showed up, and all of a sudden he's been brainwashed. You know?
And the changeling node to pretend not to be genetically engineered.
Wow, that's a great segue that you just had. Real quick though, hold on to that segue. Ask that question in 1 second. I just wanted to make one more comment about By Inferno's Light. That is the episode 2. Like I said, we discover Bashir has been taken over by changeling,
replaced,
and their plan, Ducat's plan with this changeling, they were going to blow up the Bajoran sun. They were going to. That was the plan. He was like literally heading towards the sun with a bomb, and he was going to just destroy it. And I'm like, that is like a war crime on a level that we've never ever seen in Star Trek. Like, that's crazy.
Now, because they're not. Is Cardassia in the Dominion at this point?
Yes, they just joined this episode.
Okay,
they joined.
So their thought is, we'll destroy the sun, which will obviously destroy the station, destroy Bajor, and they're just assuming that the wormhole is going to be intact.
Oh well, they strengthened the wormhole. The changeling strengthened the wormhole before he left.
Oh, okay.
O'Brien was going to do something. They were going to collapse it. That was the plan. And
they're going to collapse the wormhole.
Yes.
People from. Oh wow,
They literally gave the order. They pressed the button, but the changeling had sabotaged it, and
so strengthened it instead.
Yeah.
So strengthened it, which is kind of a writer's way of like, now we can't do that again. We can't.
I think
just
so.
Collapse
I think that was the idea. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh no, guys, Rom, what's going on? This wormhole's getting stronger. No, it's supposed to be getting weaker. That's
a scene. That's a scene that happens. But.
So Daniel, when Bashir was in the shuttle, was he hiding the fact that he was genetically engineered?
Great question, Philip. Great question. And a great segue. Because the next episode, after By Inferno's Light, is called Dr. Bashir, I presume. This is the episode where we find out, in fact, that Bashir is genetically engineered.
The whole time. Guys, the whole time. Obviously.
He got second salutatorian on purpose. Anyways.
This is the episode he reveals that?
He doesn't reveal it. Guess who reveals it?
The holodeck or hologram.
Well, yeah, technically, it's because of Dr. Zimmerman. And this is the episode that he comes on, and he's going to create a new EMH in Bashir's image.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, you look confused. Do you not remember this episode at all?
No, I think I'm mixing up the title, because which one? I thought Dr. Bashir, I presume, is the James Bond spy one, but maybe
No,
That's our man Bashir.
That's
Our Man Bashir. Okay, anytime there's the word Bashir in the title, I get them mixed up. So okay, no, that makes more sense. I'm like, I was thinking it was that one. I'm like, that's the one where we learned that it's genetically engineered. The light romp through all the holographic tomfoolery. Okay, but
this episode is also jam packed, and I was actually thinking about talking about the that whole aspect as well, but we can do that another time. But man, oh man, does Robert Picardo just love to act like a jerk? I think it's his favorite thing, because he's a big dick in this episode to everybody. And but anyways, so his goal is to create basically a Mark II of the EMH called the LMH, like long range or long.
Which is funny because later he obviously just chose Andy Dick to be the actual template of the Mark II.
That's right.
Well, if not for Bashir,
That's right. So Bashir is supposed to be, and he's going through the vetting process. Turns out he's got this little secret. He's genetically
by the way,
engineered.
just a brief pause.
Wait.
Just a brief pause.
Yeah.
If assume for the moment, which this is a good episode, so I'm not saying I don't want it to happen, except for the. Anyway, we'll get to it. But anyway, just think of the Voyager episode where Bashir is the other hologram.
Oh, that would have been cool.
I was thinking that too. I was more thinking, wait. So there's a vetting process now? Because Zimmerman, you based it off of yourself for the Mark I.
And he learned that was a mistake.
And you were not even a doctor.
He talks about that. He's talking to Cisco and he's telling him what the plan is. He's like, and Cisco's like, wow, that's very, very impressive. We're very proud of you, Doctor. And the doctor's like, Dr. Zimmerman's like, yeah, this is a shot at immortality, man. I did the first one based on me. I'm not allowed to do that this time, so I had to pick someone else. So he has to go through the vetting process and starts interviewing everybody and gets to his parents, and then it slips out or whatever. Oh, that's right, because I haven't got to that scene, but
they talk to the hologram.
The hologram hears it.
Yeah, it's a really cool reveal, the way they do it. It's not like out of nowhere,
right? And but anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. Was Dr. Zimmerman jogged my brain, and I wanted to talk about specifically characters like Data and the Doctor, and in general, just kind of the idea of personhood, maybe, or sentience in Star Trek and how it's treated, because from TOS all the way up until Picard, we have robots in Star Trek.
So like artificial intelligence. Sentience.
Artificial intelligence, yep. Because, it's a big deal, obviously, especially with Data, and we'll go through each of the different characters. But I just want to talk about why.
Interesting topic there, Maddox. What is the point of your?
So, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I mean, just the genetic is what jumps out, because that's kind of in vogue with the current series, because Strange New Worlds season 1 ends on the word I'm looking for. That number 1, her genetic.
Oh, that's right.
Background is discovered. I forget what race.
Her race is a race that have done that to survive on their planet, but it's still illegal in Federation circles.
But then it got revealed when blah blah blah. Watch the episode. But anyway, and so then she gets taken away by Starfleet, and then in Prodigy you have the guy, main kid. He's
Dal.
Dal, sorry, I can't remember what his name. Dal is, been found out to be genetic. Basically, he's just that's what he is. He's the product of just genetic mix of engineering. And now he does get allowed in Starfleet, but that's through a lot of saving the universe and Admiral Janeway. And so, but I mean, that it's very blanket in all of Star Trek. I mean, if you think about it, this is for 400 years.
Is this all because of the eugenics war?
I mean, that's what the argument is, right? That because of something that happened. And that's really a long ban. Really, you would think something would have evolved. There's no bans we have that have existed for hundreds of years about, no.
And where do you draw the line? I could see a similar, I mean, like with modern day or even in Star Trek, like I'm thinking of like the medical aspects, like stem cell research. And, like if you could genetically modify humans so that they don't, have, any chromosomal, deficiency or something like that. Like, why would you not do that? Is that over the line in genetic modification? Like, I guess it's where you draw the line.
Remind me, Philip, wasn't there talk of B'Elanna removing the Klingon part of when she was pregnant? Wasn't that a conversation?
That was an episode. Yeah. She did it. Yeah. She was trying to do it.
Yeah, because I mean, she ended up
her daughter,
right? Because there ended up being a genetic modification. Now, I don't know what words I'm supposed to be using because I'm sure genetic blah blah is fine, but genetic blah blah is not fine.
Why does the Voyager have this tool that can let her genetically modify her child? Like, that shouldn't even be existing.
Because there was a not a defect, but there was an issue with the fetus. I mean, nothing life threatening, but some problem that childhood disease that B'Elanna had, and the doctor was like, "Oh, well, I can just chew and don't have to worry about that anymore." And that's when B'Elanna thought, "Oh, well, if you can do that, then maybe you can change and do this so it doesn't have the child doesn't have Klingon ridges or any Klingon DNA, blah 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 blah." But again, like modification versus what's right. The word choice? What's the line? Engineering versus modification, is that what the difference is? And again, what's the difference?
Swap out the warp nacelles on her daughter and make it more streamlined.
It is interesting. I don't an interesting narrative choice, because you would think that everybody would at this point with that technology would just be super people, right? Like super strong and super fast and super smart.
Yeah, or like imagine you have let's say a Federation colony on a planet, but it has slightly higher gravity. Not enough to make it difficult, but enough where, it is an impact on the health of people. Why wouldn't you do something so that every offspring of that colony has stronger bones or something like that? Like, again, I think it's really where you draw the line, because
now,
it doesn't seem like you would not want to do that.
I forget what they call the group, but the genetically modified.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't gotten to them yet because they don't pop out till after this episode.
I mean, he has watched Deep Space Nine before.
Well, I don't remember the laws, because in my mind it's almost like they're putting in a facility,
right? Like an institution or something.
Yeah, but is it just because they can't function, or is it because?
Yeah, they are obviously special. They have special requirements, but it is weird, right? So Bashir here. Well, I mean, I guess in this scenario, the thing he did wrong was to lie about it. But it other than that, this is not his fault. This is something was done to him, right?
What's the genetic engineer form of dreamers? Brought to the country when you were a kid. You couldn't control it, and
right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. How do you?
Well, doesn't he say that the whole post-ganglionic fiber bit is he purposely missed that so he wasn't perfect because that would be too suspicious?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think if I remember, it was it was his way to rebel.
Oh,
I'm not. Yeah. You've made me perfect, but I refuse to be perfect, and so that was his way of saying, "No, I'm going to make a flaw."
Being Sudatorian instead of valedictorian.
Yeah,
it's like, whoop-de-doo. You still got your pick of any assignment in the fleet.
I just hate it. I mean, I do. I hate it. Not the idea to do that to a character, but I hate the he was that way the whole time. Clearly, he wasn't, because there's clearly an episode where he's nervous about meeting the valedictorian in season 1 or 2,
and he that's right, and he's worried about he hasn't done enough in his life, and she's worried about, and she doesn't even remember him or something like that.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
you could say look, I get it. It is, you have to fill in the gaps in your mind, but you could say that he was just trying to that's keep up appearances, sort of. Doesn't want to.
I think we know the real world answer of that wasn't in his bio.
Yeah, that wasn't part of his character until
until season 5 probably.
Yeah, but he. I mean, I guess I just don't understand, because he would he does some pretty incredible things, impressive things. What is the purpose of the ban? If it just, I mean, it makes bad people bad worse and good people good still. Like, so it's not like, you know what I'm saying? I guess
is this the super soldier serum where it like takes what's good or bad about you and amplifies it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just. I mean, I think that's what makes this interesting because it kind of reminds me of the. God, I can't think of any words anymore. Of the artificial being ban in Picard. It's the same principle. Oh, this group did a bad thing, so now we're banning anything that comes close to it. 100% blanket. You know, and it's like zero tolerance policy, and it's like, oh, because in the 90s they were the genetic Superman. Never anything to do with genetics ever allowed in any officialdom. Ever. I'm like, okay.
Except there definitely is. Like we've already talked about, there's been exceptions. Like, yeah, like you say, the zero tolerance policy is kind of like it's not a very Star Trek-y kind of idea, especially since there are already beings out there that, like the synth ban. There's already like a bazillion robots out there. What do you like? We are banning them, like they're not allowed to be around anymore,
or that it's more like the Federation is banning their creation within the Federation, like by Starfleet. Because I mean, granted, the synth ban is that one I can almost understand because, like, when all those whatever. Like number 8 or whatever number.
Creepy data androids?
Yeah, they're creepy as all get out. Like, it's really unsettling.
Darren's like, if you're creepy, man.
No, but like, I could see how that could go sideways really. And it does. It does go sideways and causes problems.
Feels like, I mean, was it just Commander O that made that decision? Because like,
Commodore.
There's such a, like,
Excuse me.
Commodore O, sorry. Because like, in that case, it's a ban for like what 3 months or something, because then as soon as they have the battle of the space flowers, then the ban is over.
Well, no, it's like 20 years.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that was a time.
Yeah, it happened,
or however long it was. I can't remember how long it was.
We make sure it overlaps with enough time to kill the Riker's child. But
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because to me, if Picard had gone longer, I mean, then they could have encountered a Federation colony that maybe broke off from the Federation because, not that they're like half synth, half people, but like, no, look, guys, that's a stupid idea. We're using our whatever androids.
Yeah, imagine they're a colony, kind of like Alien, where you have a synth on board and like one per ship. So imagine they have one in their colony because he can lift super strong. He can help build the foundation. Like I could see a lot of reason.
Like the colony would fail if we didn't have.
Yeah, or like it's like Maddox says, imagine a synth on every starship. Like that's actually not a bad idea. There's been lots of cases where Data being Data saved the Enterprise because he was the only one that wasn't affected by some sort of alien or being or ray. Now, there's also equally a number of times where only Data has been affected and been the cause of problems.
The ship.
Yeah, I mean, that happened once, maybe twice.
But it's I mean, like, it's one of those things where as like a story thing, like, oh, and we banned. But like, Federation's pretty big. Like, like you had this huge incinerator of like, hey, numbers 1 through 100, you're just going to go down this road. Yeah. Just keep on walking straight.
It's like,
don't stop till you hit the fire.
In a similar vein, I mean, we're like you were saying, Daniel, about artificial personhood. I'm almost surprised that the Federation didn't put not a ban, but like some sort of limiting law about holograms. Like once the Doctor's on the scene, it's kind of like, why wouldn't other people replicate that and like leave long running programs? And would that cause problems? Would you have more Moriartys than you have Doctors? Like it's like, because honestly, the Doctor seems to be, you leave him on long enough and keep feeding him input and he gains like personhood. So why couldn't you do that with any other EMH? And why is there no jurisdiction rules around that? Or
okay, so you take the Doctor as an example. You learn from that. And if you want to allow that to happen, which, is kind of an interesting question. I don't know. But if Star Trek, universe wants that to be a thing. That is a thing.
you're creating a race of holograms, basically.
Yeah. Then you let it happen, or you fix it so it doesn't. It's easy to. He's a program. You start cutting out the memory buffer things, whatever you need to do.
He doesn't need opera. Just cut that out
to stop them from gaining sentience. You don't cut it out of the Doctor. He already has it. You can't take it from him. But you can stop the future.
But you cannot publish his book. We got him.
You know, so the Doctor's interesting to me, and at the risk of being devil's advocate, because, for instance,
Arja's advocate.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, we should be able to point to a point in Voyager, because, he's first activated. Well, technically not first activated, but activated continuously for the first time. In the first episode, like, point to me the episode he has sentience.
Yeah.
Because
what if he meets a third of your criteria, even if for a moment?
Now, I mean, that's
a really good point, though, Philip, because they don't ever deal with that. It's just kind of would you say?
There's points his program evolves. I mean, his matrix fails, and then they have to add the Zimmerman hologram matrix to it, and it kind of resets him theoretically. And then there's points where his matrix gets increased and modified with, and then he gets the mobile emitter. And
I would say the mobile emitter, like, if I had to pick a point, like, obviously, I don't know. It's hard to say that he wasn't sentient before the mobile emitter, but I feel that the mobile emitter added a aspect of personhood, of being able to not be confined to a room that, like, is like, what's the difference between the Enterprise's computer? The Enterprise's computer is a giant box inside of a starship. Like, it is not a person. No matter how complex it is. I know, like, it represents itself through the holodeck and stuff like that sometimes, but if
new vertiform city.
Yes. So I'm not saying it's a perfect analogy, but if I had to pick a point, I would say the mobile emitter, of him gaining mobility. I think that developed his program. And again, I'm not saying that he wasn't sentient before. It's obviously a scale. But if I had to draw a line, I would say mobile emitter.
But, I mean, because I think one thing that I get from Voyager, and I think it's not necessarily the character, it's the writers are not consistent. But I feel like Janeway, I mean, Picard to the same way with Data, to a certain extent, but I think Janeway never is 100% the Doctor as a person. I mean, she is, Picard obviously struggles in measure. I mean, he kind of has that arc with that one episode.
But doesn't she sit with him when he's having that moral crisis of having to choose between two
after resetting him like 25 times? True. I mean, because that part of the episode is where she sneaks in, like, he feels like he's having a paranoid breakdown that someone's sabotaging. It turns out to be Janeway is sabotaging him, and it's almost like.
Granted, though, she does have a point. Like, she needs a doctor more than she needs a doctor that is sentient.
And so, and I don't know where I come across.
Look, they got two warp cores. They got to have like a backup doctor somewhere. Like,
well, it's Kim and Tom tried to do one time, and so I don't know, because it's one of those
Grey's
things.
Anatomy, Chapter 1, blah blah blah. That was so funny.
That when watching the Doctor's evolution, which I think is a really good part of Voyager, because you can see it,
especially when he becomes a musician.
Yeah, is that, I mean, a lot of it is just not being asked to him. Like, I mean, like, it doesn't matter whether he's sentient or not, right? Like, I mean, like, if I can extend this to real people, like, people who worked in an office or anything, if a cleaning person comes by, if you've never talked to one or said hi, then you're a bad person. So, like, but I mean, that's how you treat people. But, like, much less like a holographic doctor, you're still gonna be like, thank you, whatever. And so I think
it's so weird to me. That is it was a strange aspect. Like, I think there was an episode where wasn't some guy broke his leg or something and was just being a jerk to him. And it's like, first of all, like, most people, like, will talk to animals nicely, like let alone something that looks and talks exactly like a human being. If the one switch in your brain is like, oh, he's not human, I'll ask,
You're in Starfleet. There's lots of not humans here.
I'll ask Alexa things nicely. I'll say please,
Yeah.
because I'm interacting with.
Well,
them.
they
It's
do
just
that
like-
with Kest in the very beginning. Like she asks him if she wants to turn his program off. She talks to him.
Mm-hmm.
She's the first one to talk to him nicely, really, and treat him not like a functioning tool of the sick bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's because I think Kess is, I don't want to say naive because that's kind of a negative word. Innocent in that, the doctor's a
She's never
hologram,
been
just-
around that. She's like,
Yeah.
looks like a person. I got to treat him like a person.
Exactly. And I think, you can go into the philosophical things about is he a person, and maybe that's what we're going to do. But anyway, but she's just like, and I think she does think he's a person, quote unquote, the way we're using that word. But you may not believe that, but you should still treat him the way Kess says you should treat him. I mean, there's nothing you gain or lose by doing that. And there's a whole thing about, and this is where it gets a little philosophical, but I'm sure, Daniel, you might say this. Everything he's doing, he's programmed to do. Now, what Star Trek will say, and you can go either way with this, is that once you give him the ability to learn, that creates sentience, I guess, is what they would say.
Yeah. I want to compare this to Vic in Deep Space Nine, because that
Who in a mirror universe is a real person.
Let's not talk about that. That is oh my god, the dumbest thing Star Trek
forgot about that.
has ever done. Oh god, that makes me so mad. But Vic is a character.
He's a character, all right.
By all accounts, he's just as sentient as the Doctor in a lot of ways. I mean, he's self-aware. He knows exactly what's going on. He learns. He develops relationships with these people. But the crew treats him nicely. Like, unlike a lot of the people on Voyager who at first, and of course that's because
there's a whole episode where it all revolves around him not getting erased and restarted. Like they go to extreme lengths and go into full-on cosplay to prevent that from happening.
We got to save Vic's place.
Like,
Really?
do
Don't you have
we?
jobs?
And then he's like, "Sir, Admiral Ross is on the horn. He said you needed for this important war meeting."
Tell him I'm busy.
I'm busy.
Tell him I'm doing an Ocean's 11. He'll know what it means.
Cisco's 11.
And it's like the crew does that for just the bartender, not even the real one. And on the whereas in Voyager, he's performing literally life-saving surgery on these people, and they're like spitting in his face and stuff. And it's like, why is that such a disconnect? I know narratively why, because you have to learn that the Doctor is a person. He has to have growth, and he starts as just a tool. But it's also a little weird when you sort of compare and contrast those two. I wonder how they're going to treat. Sorry, real quick.
Moriarty.
I wonder how they're going to treat Moriarty in the new.
No, I think this has been a really interesting discussion so far because I think the Doctor, Vic, and Moriarty are three really interesting and diverse examples of holographic sentiency. There's a word. But it's.
Daniel, if you were, whatever the position would be on a starship or a station or in Starfleet, the computer operations, head honcho, and you're like, by the way, sir, just got this report from the Enterprise D. Through verbal commands, they were able to create a sentient, self-aware holodeck character. Should we put any controls on the system, or is that just cool? We should keep on doing it.
Look, we're not adding an arch break room. We're not adding no emergencies.
Cheers like, I just made him self-aware. I'm like, should we be doing that?
Look, you just take off the panel, and there's that little switch that's behind the one circuit. Make self-aware.
I wonder if both in the real world and in Star Trek, if Moriarty was the inspiration for the Doctor. Somebody back at Starfleet headquarters was like, wait a minute, we can do this? And then they're like, we can do it.
For the holographic, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I want to say two things. One is, the idea of the Doctor and this, or an EMH, I should say, because it's not the Doctor. That's just an EMH. Technically, you've just stuck these holographic and force field emitters. Technically, you don't even need the hologram part. Technically, you could just have force field projectors move hyposprays around. Like, it'd be unnerving as all get out, which is, I know, is why they don't do it. Because you could just have it be like the room is your doctor, and it's like a disembodied voice saying, okay, starting procedure 3, and then it beams in a hypospray and the hypospray floats over. Like, you could do that. It's literally what the doctor does. The doctor is just a visual representation of that. Like, he's not actually holding it as any more than a force field projector is floating it over to you. You just happen to see something. And again, I totally get why they do that, because it'd be creepy as all get out that the room is performing surgery on you. But I wanted to ask you guys, where on the spectrum of sentience is the Leia Brahm hologram? Because she is also given
Darren, I miss you. Every
she's
time
given
you touch
all
the
of,
Orphanus
because doesn't he like take all of her memories and all of her notes and you know, anything the computer knows about her? And there's that moment where she kind of like comes alive and starts to interact with him. And we all know this is a terrible idea. Like, we're not saying Jordy had a good plan.
Because I'm trying to remember, because this is where I would get, have Daniel as my guy. Like, what are the exact commands Jordy put? Like, because I remember, doesn't he had like a last thing? It's like, do this, and add that something special. I mean, like,
I think he like adds her person, like he's able to override the personnel files or something, like, or personal logs. I can't remember.
I don't know if I would. I would have to watch that episode again to remember. I would think she would probably just be just a good sort of approximation of sentience. I don't think she was probably active long enough where she wasn't.
I see you're trying to change the warp core. Would you like some help?
Or like, was it Michael, the hologram that Janeway was falling in love with?
Oh yes, delete the wife.
Oh yeah.
That's also like the same kind of thing where he's been given a lot of personality, but he's still just a program.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. I think because to us it just appears that they are people, but obviously they're not, and that's like the idea of like where the Doctor starts. Like, that's an appearance of a person, but it's not. But then, of course, as he starts to learn,
is it because of the complexity of the Doctor that he's able to make that jump?
Because in Voyager, he does. I don't say like Data, but not Data does, but to a lesser extent, I say as much as the Doctor does, encounter photonic beings, and then that's the episode because the Doctor's cheering. Like, there's the murder hologram that he meets one episode, and then there are usually all murder holograms now that I think about it.
There's the one with Captain Proton where they're like, they're not sure.
Photonic beings.
Photonic beings.
I can't think of those. And then in season 7 is the holograms that I cannot remember anything. The hunter species.
Right. Hirogen,
because they'd given them technology like 3 seasons earlier.
Yeah.
And now the holograms have basically revolted against them, Hirogen, and now they're trying to find a new planet, and one guy ends up being like a cult leader. But anyway, they're all individuals, and I'm hand quoting that because I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could really argue maybe they're not. Maybe they aren't people. Maybe it's all just a lot of dress up and program that we respond to. Hey, something looks like a human. I want to treat it like a human. Whereas, like aliens.
The anthropomorphizing of a program.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all holograms are.
But Star Trek has shown us that life exists in many, many forms, right? Mm-hmm. Like you just mentioned, the photonic beings. Or things made out of rock that talk, or beings of entire energy. Like anything can be life, and again, like you mentioned this earlier.
Ugly bags of mostly water.
What does it cost to treat these things with decency and nothing? And obviously we're getting a lot of utility out of them. And if you want to have the philosophical argument of is or not, it's utilitarian at least to just accept them as they are and work with them, right? So, it's a Star Trek ideal that like something can be so different from you and still cooperate and work together.
Good, Phil.
Well, now I was just going to say very quickly because I'm just thinking about this, and again, you all have more technical knowledge than I do in real life. But like an author, so like now in 2023, there's AI programs that can write
could write a book.
novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so, do they have copyright status? Oh no, that's just a simple AI. Okay, so if I put it in a human-looking thing, and I said the AI program's in there,
I actually have seen an article about that, and the precedent that they were basing it off of, what was it? It was like a monkey had painted something.
Oh, I remember this vaguely. Yes,
and
took a photo.
Or yes, that's right. A monkey took a person's camera, like a photographer's camera, and took a photo, and that photo could not be copyrighted, like because it was not taken by a human. Like a human did not create it, and so they were basically making a connection, saying copyright has to apply to a person; it cannot apply to like an animal or something like that. So people were using that same precedent for AI art and saying that's what it was. It's for AI art, not for books.
Right.
And they were saying, who has the copyright for this image, because it's not made by a person. So it's getting all vague and interesting, but that was where they were going so far.
Because then I wonder, and again, this gets into law, but unlike fictional law, we don't have to make it real. But like
Space law.
in author. Like, could Dr. Zimmerman, if he was still alive at the time, I know he was sick, but anyway, he probably got better. But anyway, is Dr. Zimmerman, could he be the ultimate copyright holder because he created who's responsible?
Yeah,
because I mean,
that's
I
a good
guess
question.
the publisher was like, "Oh, there's no rights," but I mean, there have to be some rights somewhere. That this thing. I mean, I'm talking about the Doctor. This thing created a holodeck program novel. So, but the person created the Doctor, so certainly they have some rights if we're going to be this black and white ownership about things. But anyway,
I feel like in Star Trek's future, maybe when you publish a book, it just goes right into public domain anyways. Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure where that would
True.
go.
Like, what's the scarcity of a published book?
Right.
well, the argument there was that he wanted to have the book taken back so he can make changes because he had learned his lesson after being visited by three
because
ghosts.
it's not money. It's not
Right.
like the
Depends. I mean, I'm sure Quark's holo novels get.
He does charge, yeah, and people do pay. So
See, I keep trying to think of the line going back to Leah Brahms of like Geordi saying, create a holographic interface for the warp core that is able to defeat Data or something like that. And that's the key line at the end that creates Leah Brahms.
Well, I mean, and this is a blurring line, but I'll go for it. So, this whole holograms are people, hand quote. And we're like, okay, that's fine. But, what if we created a hologram that looked just like you? Oh, but it's a person now. So there's now someone like you
and it
going
thinks
around.
it's you. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, I mean, that's the usual Leah Brahms example, because, of course, the real Leo in that episode.
And she's pissed as all get out.
And so then, I mean, that goes to the larger question of
That's a good
the
question.
ethics or norms or societal norms or of holograms of other people.
yeah, well, that's definitely it's a faux pas we see. In Deep Space Nine, there's that episode where some creepy dude charges Quark. He asks Quark to get
Money.
the image of
Major Kira.
Major Kira, and that's a big no. And so I would think, if not in actual law, there's certainly a social. But there should be a law.
There's a Voyager episode, not in a negative way, but the one where the Doctor is impersonating everybody, and so he has his mobile emitter on his ankle or something, and he has to reach down and hit 3 buttons. But if you go beyond that aspect of the difficulty of reprogramming and switching on the fly, if that was integrated in his program, you could have the Doctor walk around and just be like, now I look like this. He could. There's no reason for the Doctor to stay confined to the Zimmerman form.
It makes. And this is getting a little too detailed, so I'm not going to go that detailed. But because we all know what holograms are used for. Cough. But if it's a person, so the Doctor's pretending to be Chakotay. Does he? I know a little detail. Does he smell like it? Is it just a look, or does the breath? Other things are associated other than visual with a person. Smell, touch, all those.
And again,
what does it exactly copy?
I think that would have been an interesting maybe season 8 Voyager or whatever, like to take the Doctor to have that ability of being able to change his physical outward form. Imagine they get boarded and he turns himself into this like 7-foot tall Klingon and just starts going on the, like, why not? Like why not make him, I mean, usually in combat situations, he was just really worried about his mobile emitter being shot at because it was like the only, but you could put a force field around it. You are literally photons and force fields. So put a force field around the mobile emitter.
So you're saying that in First Contact, when Beverly leaves,
he should have hulked out and just started wailing on those Borg.
He should have taken back sickbay. Yeah.
So here's a Star Trek Voyager.
But he can't go beyond the door. So he's just he's like standing there like a boss fight bouncing, and then they're like looking at him, and then once one Borg takes a step through the door, and he's just like ha ha, and then the others who are Borg are like, why isn't he coming out of the room? Like they're really confused.
Imagine Die Hard, but Bruce Willis could only stay in a room. So he had to bring all the people to him.
Yeah. He had to stay in the bathroom. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, it's an interesting conversation. Is there any points that we wanted to touch on before we close out?
I mean, like, it makes me think there should have been a Star Trek Voyager novel, after they came back in that little novel verse they had, where the Doctor gets recruited by Section 31. Because, I mean, come on. There's your undercover agent right there.
Yeah. I mean, he could do pretty much whatever he wants. So.
I mean, I do like the fact that, at least to my knowledge, Star Trek has never, or Starfleet has never been able to replicate the mobile emitter, which I think is good. I think it's good that genie is at least kind of in the bottle.
To keep his EMH1 subjugated in those dilithium mines.
No, but like, imagine if Section 31's like, oh, this mobile emitter tech is going to go far, and they literally like mass produce it and now have an army of holographic Klingons. Yeah. Like I don't really want to go down that path, but.
Do you know who we didn't bring into this conversation that we should have talked about? Peanut butter hamster.
I was trying to think
peanut hamper.
Peanut hamper, whatever.
That was my...
Oh, that's true. I mean, a little more so than the exocomps, just because she talks. But that's a good point.
That's because like,
she has a whole-on relationship.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that would be funny because I feel like that episode of TNG, not Lower Decks,
Quality of Life.
Yeah, TNG is because Data it's not a 1-to-1. It's not like, Data discovered an android. It doesn't work quite as well, but hey, it's like me. It's
like when Odo finds the kind of like proto changeling in the locket. It's a similar, like you're saying, Philip, though, it's like this could become me. This is a
But I like that it's so different. In other words, like it would have been interesting in Voyager if the Doctor had encountered your holographic sickbay room with the voice from above and the fields floating things,
right?
And then the Doctor could evolve like, no, this is me. This is just a different version of me.
Yeah,
you
it's just
see it
not glossed up.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. All right, well, I'm sure this sort of stuff will come back up because we broached a lot of
Alice, the ship that was like also kind of that was an artificial intelligence that like abducted Tom and wanted to merge with him and.
Poor Tom.
It's like Starfleet's really dangerous, guys. Like
want to merge with the creator.
Yeah.
Oh, that actually, you asked Philip, and that is one thing I do think that they would do is as soon as this happened once, they would really lock this stuff down because you don't want this running rampant.
So look out for that new version of holodeck software version 2.5.
Please update
that.
Yeah.
Don't ask any questions.
Riker comes in and he pushes the button and he's like, sorry, you must update your and accept your new terms and conditions before you can use the holodeck.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, he made Minuet. I know the Binars were heavily influenced in that, but still,
she's a rudimentary example, but definitely that she was impressive enough to
so much because she became real in that other episode.
I know.
Star Trek really liked that.
All right. Well, Philip, if people wanted to find out what kind of hologram you would be, where would they get a hold of you?
They can activate my program by simply going at NC Public Servant.
And Darren, if they want to find out what program you are running day to day, where do they find you?
I am just a disembodied room and a voice. They can go to drsci-fi.com, DRSCIFI.
What's making these Legos move?
Assemble these Legos.
And if they want to find me, they can find me at OneUpDan. That's it for this week, but we will catch you all next time. I'm Daniel Prue.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
And I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on SETI Alpha 3.